The world is at war once again. The Second World War had claimed 50 million lives, but that was a war fought on land, air and the sea. There was ground involvement and it lasted 6 years. Territories were occupied, territories were lost, territories were reclaimed. But that was 1939 to 1945. The nature of warfare has changed. Before we come to what's happened in the Middle East now, let's have a quick look at what took place over the last 12 months around the world. The Russia-Ukraine war has continued, casualties have continued to mount, and neither side is conceding an inch. The war has now entered its fifth year.
Я не хочу, щоб ракети, літаки, гвинтокрили летіли в Україну з Білорусі. Я не хочу, щоб йшли війська в Україну з Білорусі. І він мене запевнив у цьому. Олександр Лукашенко звернувся до мене, щоб українська та російська делегації зустрілись на річці Прип'ять. Підкреслю, без жодних умов. Скажу відверто, як завжди, я не дуже вірю в результат цієї зустрічі, але нехай спробують. Щоб потім у жодного громадянина України не було жодного сумніву, що я, як президент, не намагався зупинити війну, коли був нехай і маленький, але все ж таки шанс.
Пригласил вас для того, чтобы поговорить о вопросах, связанных с экономикой, с финансами. Мы с Михаилом Владимировичем обсуждали эту тему, имея в виду, конечно, и те санкции, которые сейчас так называемое западное сообщество, как я его назвал в своем выступлении, это империя лжи, пытается реализовать в отношении нашей страны. Давайте начнем. Пожалуйста, Михаил Владимирович.
India and Pakistan fought a brief conflict following the terrorist attack in Pahalgam. Operation Tindu saw India take out multiple terror targets deep in Pakistan and inflicting serious damage on several of its key air bases.
हर देशवासी ने एकजुट होकर संकल्प लिया था कि आतंकवादियों को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे, उन्हें कल्पना से भी बड़ी सजा देंगे। आज आपके आशीर्वाद से, देश की सेना के शौर्य से हम सब उस प्रण पर खरे उतरे हैं। हमारी सरकार ने तीनों सेनाओं को खुली छूट दे दी थी। और तीनों सेनाओं ने मिलकर ऐसा चक्रव्यूह रचा कि पाकिस्तान को घुटने टेकने के लिए मजबूर कर दिया।
Later in the year, Israel and the United States carried out coordinated airstrikes in Iran, attacking several nuclear installations. This was to serve as a prelude to what happened earlier this week. But before that, there were at least 3 rounds of negotiations between Iran and the United States, mediated by Oman. 2 of these meetings happened in Geneva, and this concerned the future of Iran's nuclear program. However, according to the Americans, there was no progress. On the morning of the 28th of February this year, around 10 a.m. Tehran time, America and Israel, in a joint attack, carried out a series of strikes in Iran. The war had well and truly begun.
This morning, the United States regime jointly and in coordination with the Israeli regime initiated an unprovoked and premeditated aggression against the Islamic Republic of Iran for the second time in the recent months, while deliberately attacking civilian populated areas in multiple large cities of Iran where millions of people reside. As a result of this brutal armed attack, hundreds of civilians have been killed and injured. The aggression and atrocious crime of the United States regime and the Israeli regime and the deliberate and persistent targeting of civilian infrastructure are going. In addition to the numerous civilian residential buildings, the aggressors have also targeted a school in the city of Minab, Hormuz province, killing more than 100 children. The number of innocent civilians continues to rise. This is not only an act of aggression, it is a war crime and a crime against humanity.
And this time, both countries aimed directly at Iran's political leadership. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, who has controlled the levers of power in the country since 1989 and had been a former president of Iran himself, was killed. And so were some of his closest aides, including Abdul Rahim Mousavi, the Chief of Staff of the Iranian Armed Forces, Aziz Nasirzadeh, the Minister for Defense, Mohammad Pakpor, the Chief of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, among others.
I want to ask you, Ali Khamenei was killed in his own office. Did you ever anticipate that America and Israel would attack him directly in such a direct manner? Did this come as a shock and a surprise to you?
Actually, yes. Do you know, the people of Jeffrey Epstein Island, they don't know humanity, they don't have morality, how they are dealing with the innocent girls in the island. These people, everything we expect to come from them. Even Ayatollah, several times the security people in Iran advised Ayatollah Khamenei to move from his house to another city, but he refused. He said, no, I will not go. If you could provide safe city for 90 million Iranians, then I will go. Even they asked him, please, we will provide you some bunker and safe place, basement, the basement. He refused. He said, at first you have to go and build for 90 million Iranians, then you come to me. He was his ordinary work, and in the early morning he was in his office, and near to his office is his house. As you know, he was living with his wife and his daughter, his granddaughter and his daughter-in-law, and all of them have been killed and martyred. Yes, actually, since that time up to now, I've received all people from different sections, from different religion. They show their sympathy, solidarity with Ayatollah Khamenei. Even some people have come here and they cry, they cannot stop their crying, and they cannot stop keeping their tears. And although they are not Muslim, even one of them asked him, why you cry for Ayatollah Khamenei while you are not Muslim? He said, I'm human being. How they attacked him, how they killed him. This is out of humanity, out of justice, out of morality, out of everything.
However, Iran retaliated and its counteraction engulfed the entire Middle Eastern conflict. Iran's retaliatory strikes reached Qatar, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, the coast of Oman, Cyprus, as well as Israel. President Donald Trump said this to the people of the United States as well as Iran on the 28th of February.
From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal. something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon.
And here's what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said.
אני פה בבסיס חיל האוויר עם שר הביטחון והרמטכ"ל והמפקדים והלוחמות והלוחמים, גם בהגנה וגם בהתקפה של חיל האוויר והצוותים הטכניים שמסייעים לפעולה הזאת. אני אומר לכם בכנות, הם עושים כאן עבודה מדהימה. הרמטכ"ל, ממך, דרך כל החיילים והחיילות שאני רואה פה, עבודה מדהימה שמדהימה לא רק את האויב, שר הביטחון היא מדהימה גם אותי. ואני חושב שכל עם ישראל צריך להוקיר לכם את העבודה החשובה שאתם עושים, להגן על אזרחי ישראל וגם לתקוף את המרצחים ושולחיהם באיראן. אנחנו ממשיכים להכות בעוצמה באיראן. הטייסים שלנו מעל שמי איראן וטהרן וגם מעל שמי לבנון. חיזבאללה עשה טעות גדולה מאוד שהוא תקף אותנו. אנחנו כבר הגבנו בעוצמה ונגיב בעוצמה יתרה ונוספת. ממשלת לבנון צריכה להבין, והעם בלבנון צריך להבין, שחיזבאללה גורר אותם למלחמה לא להם, רק בגלל מותו של אותו מרצח המוני, שאין להם שום קשר אליו. הם צריכים לדאוג לעצמם, וכדאי שיעשו זאת בהקדם. אנחנו נמשיך לעשות מה שדרוש להגנתנו. אנחנו ביום הרביעי של שאגת הארי, אנחנו שואגים ואנחנו פועלים.
Iran, however, has not backed down. American and Israeli assets in the Middle East, as well as key energy infrastructure in other countries allied with the United States, have been struck.
The United States military, together with the wonderful Israeli partners, continues to totally demolish the enemy far ahead of schedule and at levels that people have never seen before, actually. We're destroying more of Iran's missiles and drone capability every single hour, knocking them out like nobody thought was possible. As soon as they set off a missile, within 4 minutes, the launcher gets hit. They don't know what's happening. But we have the greatest military anywhere in the world. Their Navy is gone. 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships. Their anti-aircraft weapons are gone. So they have no air force. They have no air defense. All of their airplanes are gone. Their communications are gone. Missiles are gone. Launches are gone. About 60% and 64% respectively.
The reactions in Iran appear to be divided. Thousands mourn the death of Ali Khamenei, but there were women too who poured out onto the streets for what they believed was a moment of liberation. After all, Ali Khamenei and the Iranian regime had unleashed a brutal crackdown on spontaneous protests in 2022 as well as the early part of this year. But one thing is unclear: the exact motives on the part of the United States in this war. Is it regime change, or is it a dismantling of any capability on the part of Iran to acquire nuclear weapons or build missiles that could reach the United States? There have been contradictions from within the US administration.
These are exciting times. I think you probably want to speak about war rather than this, but this is very important. This is very important, and we're doing very well on the war front, to put it mildly, I would say. Somebody said, on a scale of 10, where would you rate it? I said about a 15. And we're going to continue to do well. We have the greatest military in the world by far. And that was a tremendous threat to us for many years. 47 years they've been killing our people and killing people from all over the world. And I think we have great support. And I think if we didn't do it first, they would have done it to Israel and give us a shot if that was possible.
לפני שעה קלה יצאו ישראל וארצות הברית למערכה משותפת מבצע שאגת הארי. מטרת המבצע, לשים קץ לאיום ממשטר האייתולות באיראן.
The war has also reached India's neighborhood when an Iranian ship was struck by the Americans and sunk in the Indian Ocean, close to Sri Lanka but in international waters. Iris Dana, the Iranian ship, had participated in a naval exercise in India on India's invitation towards the end of February and was heading back to Iran when it was torpedoed. There was politics that also played out here in India over why the government had not immediately condoled Ayatollah Khamenei's death, albeit it did so later.
तो मुझे लगता है कंप्रोमाइज के साथ ही कंफ्यूज्ड प्रधानमंत्री जी है। ईरान के बारे में भारत का क्या स्टैंड है, इस पे बारे मौन हो गया है।
और ईरान के हेड ऑफ द स्टेट की मौत के ऊपर जबकि घर में घुसकर मारा गया हो, आपके मुंह से दो लफ्ज ना निकले, इससे ज्यादा दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण कोई बात हो नहीं सकती।
एक तो जो हमारी दिल्ली में जो लीडरशिप है, जो इस मुल्क की लीडरशिप है, उन्होंने कंडेम नहीं किया इसको, उन्होंने वहां के लोगों को कंडोलेंस नहीं किया।
जो ईरान के ऊपर हमला किया है उसमें नरेंद्र मोदी चुप है, भारत की अप्रूवल की छाप देने के लिए गए।
The other critical dimension of this conflict is our energy security. The Straits of Hormuz have been disrupted and almost 40% of India's oil and natural gas imports pass through it. In this context, the visit of the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney was important because India will now purchase LNG from Canada as well as uranium.
We want to see a broader de-escalation of these hostilities with a broader group of countries than just the direct belligerents involved. We recognize, we stress, that that cannot be achieved unless we're in a position that Iran's ability to acquire a nuclear weapon, develop a nuclear weapon, and to export terrorism is ended. So that process must lead to those outcomes. So one can never categorically rule out participation. We will stand by our allies when it makes sense. There's a distinction between the offensive actions that were taken and are being taken by the United States and Israel, that were taken by them without consultation with Canada, with other allies, and we're not party to those actions. But we will always defend Canadians. We will always stand by and defend our allies when called upon.
India anyway has been diversifying its supply sources and had purchased large quantities of oil also from Russia until American tariffs and penalties resulted in a depletion. However, things have changed, with America now claiming that it will allow a 30-day waiver in the middle of this war for India to purchase Russian oil. Given that India had not stopped purchasing Russian oil, the question of being allowed any waiver does not arise.
Наши друзья в Индии и премьер-министр, большой друг России, господин Моди, он целую концепцию выделил несколько лет назад. Сделано в Индии. Ну и, знаете, эффекты есть. Реально эффект для индийской экономики ощутимый. Вот не грех повторять то, что запретено, если и не нами, то нашими друзьями, и хорошо работает.
Nevertheless, this shows America's own recalibrations amid a conflict.
It's been 47 years. They've been killing people all over the world for a long time. They were the kings and fathers of the roadside bomb. Soleimani, we killed him last term. Most people feel, I'll tell you what, I have never had more compliments on something I did. People felt it's something that had to be done. So if we have a little high oil prices for a little while, but as soon as this ends, those prices are going to drop, I believe, lower than even before.
What is unclear is how long this war will last. President Trump claimed that it could be 4 to 5 weeks, but the timeline would also be dependent on what the objectives are.
We have the strongest and most powerful by far military in the world, and we will easily prevail. We're already substantially ahead of our time projections, but whatever the time is, It's okay, whatever it takes. We will always, and we have right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it.
India has called for an immediate de-escalation, with a large number of our citizens living in the Middle East. Parleys will continue, but will there be peace soon? Only time will tell.